Bengals fans are amazing. They're resilient, they're tough, but they're fun. And I'm really excited to hopefully meet a lot more of you.
Isaac has the big game. Then we became a real balanced offense for the playoff run, which I thought was really important.
He put on the greatest route running exhibition I have ever seen in my life.
He was football 24/7, and that was the greatest part of Chad.
At times, the early part, I would tell him when we were throwing deep passes, I said, don't wait too long, because I'm going to get away. If you ain't going to have the arm to get there. So, I want to run to the ball,
Well, Duke, looks like Duke's in the waiting room. I don't want to keep Duke waiting. He gave us a very limited amount of time. I know he's a busy man. Duke, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
Jim, how are you, man? Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm real busy. I'm sitting on my porch.
Yeah, well, hey. Have a little drink going on there.
Joe Burrow has played in big games his entire life, and I would think he will be a steady hand at the bow of the ship. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they take him all the way to the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 3-3 edition of the James. We're going to mute James just for a second. We'll get James on here in a minute. You guys, all the complaining last week about we were not going to win another game. Now all of a sudden we go down to New Orleans, play a great game, go 3-3, and I think we're getting ready to get on a run here. Before we get to a few other things here, about 8:10 we're going to go with On to Marc. With our buddy Marc, about 8:15, 8:20, we're going to be going to Tony the Tiger here, going to Making a Difference with TDT. And then 8:30, we're going to have a fun guest tonight, Parker Blake, an offensive line coach, an expert on the offensive line play. He has sent us about 15 different short videos to break down the line play and break down each offensive lineman. And I tell you what, it's going to be very interesting. So I'm excited about that. It'll be about 8:30. But before we do all that, guys, let's talk to James here. James, where are you, man? Looks like he
may have lost him.
He's frozen.
He's froze. We'll keep him there. See what happens. See if he dials back in. We'll see if he's dials back in here in a minute, guys. Before we do that, hey, Tony, just, what do you think? I know you watched the game, man. I was impressed the way these guys hung through it after early turnover. Could have gone bad for us.
Well, there's really no difference from when Zach Taylor took over the team. They play hard. They've always played hard from opening kick to final whistle. It's just for some reason they got to misfire early and dig into a hole and come out of it every week. So certainly some things had to happen in the second half, and finally the offense stepped up when the defense needed them to, and we had the balance to get the win. So, but two of our best players and certainly two of our finest offensive players hooked up for the big play at the end with that pass from Joe to Jamar and off to the races to, in fact, he was running, I think, right at Tony with that final touchdown. So they found a way. They're getting better every week. The rust is knocked off. I think they're, getting things together. We've got a lot of important injuries to worry about on the defense, but a win to celebrate. And if this season goes the way we all want it to be, I think that's the game we're going to look back and say that's where they righted the ship. I know we're waiting for James to dial back in. The other part of our team, Jamie, I know a lot of people want to know where Jamie is. Jamie is on a photo shoot for his 2023 calendar, of which most of the time he will indeed have no sleeves on. So I know a lot of the ladies have been waiting for that, and we will have information on how to get that very soon.
Hey, with the game, who day, not who dat, that's for sure. So it was a lot of fun. Our defense was amazing. They stepped up when they needed to. Trey, I tell you what, watching Trey was just phenomenal. He, he put his heart and soul in it. You could tell when I was right behind the bench, when he come over to the sideline, he was huffing and puffing, even needed to get oxygen once. So them guys are playing really hard when we need them to at the critical moments. So it was pretty good to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Trey made one awful mistake that game, but he played his ass off that entire game. So
that was a bad call.
Didn't need to touch him at that point, but ticky-tack NFL these days, you know how it works.
He knew it too.
Yeah, let's bring on Marc. So we're down 2. We're adding 2. We got guys in the bullpen here. We got Bougie Marc with us on the Marc, and we got Tony the Tiger. So let's talk about this real quick, Tom. On this date, October 18th, 2011, what happened in Cincinnati football history, buddy?
We closed the book on an ugly chapter. We got rid of a leader who couldn't lead. We traded Carson Palmer to the Raiders to get 2 draft picks that ended up being number 2, Giovanni Bernard. And let's see, our other one was a first-round pick, and the name escapes me right now, but he was a defensive back from Alabama.
Kirkpatrick.
Trey Kirkpatrick. Thank you, Marc. But so it really closed the door on one era and opened up to a certain degree the Andy Dalton era. And amazingly enough, 5 straight playoff appearances. So, included with that a couple of division championships. So, I think that was a good day for everybody involved.
Yeah, no doubt. And I still think I'm so proud of Section 158 at Paul Brown Stadium. When the Raiders came to town with Carson Palmer as their quarterback, we had a lot of fun booing Mr. Palmer that day. So, yeah, that on this date in Bengal history, a great day at the end of the day. So, let's also talk about tomorrow, Gold Star Pep Rally. Marc, I think you and I will be at that one. I think Tony's got one coming up here again. Mount Healthy Pep Rally, 5:30 to 6:30 tomorrow in Mount Healthy at the Gold Star. Marc, you'll be there too, right?
Absolutely. Going to be a good time.
Yeah. We got tons of free stuff to give away. Houday will be there. We'll have a good time. Again, it's only an hour. You don't need to spend your whole night there. Come down and have some dinner with us and enjoy some other Bengal fans being there. It'll be a good time. So Pep Rally tomorrow, Gold Star Pep Rally tomorrow at 5:30 in the Mount Healthy location. Also want to give everybody a heads up. This Sunday, our tailgates, we've got a 500-pound pumpkin coming, guys. And I can't tell you what's going to be carved in it. It's going to be amazing. But this guy right here, his name's Tater Edwards. He's on Halloween Wars. If you've ever watched that before, he usually does a pumpkin for us every single season. This one will be the biggest. He's got a 500-pounder and a 700-pounder as a backup if the pumpkin doesn't carve his way. So he will be bringing that down. So I'm telling you, there'll be a lot of good photo ops with that pick for sure. Also, obviously, our sponsor you see up there in the corner of your screen, one of our sponsors. This Sunday, we're going to have several thousand koozies. Betfred and Bengal Jim and Friends koozies, our 30th anniversary logo on there. So those will be down there for you. So those will be a limited edition 30th anniversary koozie. They will be down at the tailgate this week as well. And we got a first today, guys. Everybody that's watching, this is a first. We are getting a lot of calls about sponsorships and stuff like that. And I think I've shared with everybody on social media. We don't take any money. We ask these companies to make donations. Tony, McDonald's and Coke Zero donated to where they wind up donating?
So they reached out to you. Actually, we're on our way back from Baltimore and asked to help with our donation. And they gave us $2,500. And it went to the Ronald McDonald House. Yep. So that you posted that letter showing that transparency that 100% of those proceeds went to that organization. So thank you to Coke Zero.
Yeah, and McDonald's. And the nice thing about it is, look, they only wanted a 2-week stretch of us doing a few things for them. Well, one of the things they wanted us to do was do a few posts on social media, which we've done on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram platforms. But they wanted us to do a commercial on our show. This is a first. And Marc, we're throwing Marc under the bus right now. Marc, they're going to get this recorded. They want this recorded. So we're going to send them this clip. So this is our first I don't know what we want to call our first commercial, I guess. I don't know. Our first commercial.
Our first advertisement.
First advertisement. And we're going to pop up an image. And Mark, you just go ahead and go with it, brother. You ready? Here we go.
Hey, football fans. Hope you're sitting down because we have some great news for you. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is now available at all McDonald's in the Cincinnati area. 0 calories, 0 sugar, same great Coca-Cola taste. It's the perfect partner for a Big Mac, fry, or my personal favorite, the double filet fish sandwich, which is on the secret menu. What a great combo to enjoy on game day. Try it yourself. Be sure to stop by a local McDonald's and pick up a Coke Zero Sugar this weekend before the game. And also, you can get a coupon or a voucher for a free Coke Zero at the tailgate this Sunday.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect, Mark.
Very good job, Mark. Very good. So Coke and Coke Zero McDonald's. I got home from New Orleans yesterday, and I come out, had these boxes laying on the table. One of my sons says, Corey, you got a bunch of mail. One was a sleeve of, I'm not exaggerating, easily, Tony, 1,000 free Coke Zeros at a McDonald's with a purchase, backpacks, shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff that we'll be giving away at the tailgate this Sunday. But we appreciate Coke Zero and McDonald's of Ohio. Very cool thing that they're doing to getting involved with the tailgate. So you guys will be benefiting from that as well. And also Ronald McDonald's House benefited from that donation too. So let's bring James on. He got back in here. Let's see what's going on with James.
Yeah, I can hear you. Got an internet signal now. So sorry about that earlier. I guess I need to turn my phone hot dog style too, don't it?
There you go.
All right.
There he is.
So everybody that's watching right now, James is a traveling man. Type in where you think James is right now, and we'll tell you when we just talk. But James, how's it going with the fam? You guys having a good time?
Yeah, just south of New Orleans. That's your clue. We're here. I'm going to let this one car pass because cars aren't really prevalent here. We got a lot of golf carts. Everybody on this place where I'm at drives golf carts or walks, and you can see lots of golf carts. Here's a little spread for dinner tonight. Pick your lobster or crab legs. Got some octopus there. Got some snapper, lionfish, whatever. Just pick it out and go inside and eat it. So,
hey James,
very similar to yes.
You need to bring that for the tailgate, brother. That'd be one hell of a tailgate right there.
I think all those were caught out of the Ohio River. The gentleman's busy right now. I'm going to let him confirm. You can see some customers there that are waiting to pick their fish and go in and have it cooked. So good. Jimmy, I'm proud of you for bringing the win back from New Orleans, and I'm excited to be back in the jungle on Sunday.
It's going to be – I don't know if everybody saw the weather, but it's going to be like 75, 78 degrees, no rain, beautiful day downtown.
Chamber of Commerce weather.
It's going to be – it would be like the weather in Belize. You know, it's that beautiful Sunday. Lisa, you got it right.
Lisa's got it.
Lisa got it. We had Key West, multiple Key West guests in here, James. A lot of Key West.
I mean, the Caribbean counts. But yeah, so more, I guess I don't know what you talked about earlier, but another great opportunity, another great charity on Sunday. Of course, our friends at Gold Star are going to be back, and announcement with our buddy Kick at CMA and Betfred. Excited for that, and a lot going on. Busy week.
An awful lot of stuff going on, man. We got right now, it looks like Jack Brown Burgers are going to be down there. We're going to have, obviously, Gold Star. We're going to have Camp Washington. Nothing But Cakes is going to be down there. It's going to be about. We got the 500-pound pumpkin we talked about, James. It's going to be a lot of fun down there. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Hey, James, Jimmy, one question: what happens to the pumpkin at the end of the tailgate? The 500-pound pumpkin that's sitting there.
Well, that's what Tony and I were talking about. We think we're just going to have Tony pick it up and put it on top of somebody's car if they want it.
Can you roll that into the Ohio River? I mean, see if it floats to Louisville or.
We got to figure that out.
That's going to be one of the winners. If somebody has a card that's drawn, right, Tony? They can take that home with them. They can pick it up or roll it.
Yeah, we talked about it. We're going to see. That might be our little surprise gift for everyone. If someone wants to take that home. The thing is, they do have to take it home that night. You need about 4 or 5 of your closest friends, and you need a truck to put it on. But yeah, we might be able to do that.
Maybe any potential chefs down there can make 500 pumpkin pies out of it and bring it back for one of the games. I don't know.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go, James.
So, all right, gentlemen. Well, look forward to seeing everybody Sunday. Great win in New Orleans. Never doubted it. Never doubted it. Of course, another close one. But can we please just get Chris Evans more involved? That's all I'm going to say.
Can you bring home that maraca that we hear the lovely sound in the background? Can you please bring that back with you?
Yeah, hold on. You'll see him. He's over there. Craig, our buddy Craig Johnson will be in heaven. That's a cigar bar right across the street with all the Cubans you can ever dream of. And a guy playing whatever this thing. Yeah, Moroccans, Marc. Yeah. So there you go. All right.
James, be safe. See you, buddy.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye. Yeah, I heard that too. I wasn't sure what that was called. A Moroccan. Good job. I had no idea. Hey, leave it to James, man. So he'll be back in town for the game this weekend, so he will be down there. I've talked to him a few times today. We've got all kinds of stuff going on, but also not just the tailgate Sunday. We'll actually be working with Joe Burrow Foundation. Tony will talk about here in a minute, but also the following week we have a massive tailgate planned up in the city up north. Looks like we have a private lot. Craig, our buddy Cincy Beer Fest, Craig is going up to the city up north to advance scout 2 of these private lots so we can pick which one. He will pick which one we want to use. Stay tuned. Do not pay. I'm just going to – you do whatever you want. I would tell you, if you want a tailgate with a tailgate run by Cincinnati fans, I know there's third-party tailgate folks out there that you got to pay to attend. I know it got real confusing down in New Orleans, but stay tuned. Probably the next couple of days we'll make an announcement on the lot location up the city up north for that Monday night game. We'll be tailgating in. I know there are a lot of fans will be heading north for that game as well. So stay tuned for that. So, Marc, let's go right into on the mark, brother. Talk to us a little about week 6, what you had going on in here.
All righty. So over the weekend we had Blink in Cincinnati, which is a festival of light and art. And I think the part of the city that didn't travel to New Orleans must have went to Blink, because I went out early Sunday morning to the OTR. I watch soccer. We all know this. And there was nobody out. I think everybody was at home in bed. So I got some pictures. We went Sunday night after the victory down to Blink. Obviously, we have some photos and videos of all the fun stuff that happened down in New Orleans. And we also have some bonus footage. The Sunday we played the Ravens. My daughter, Brooklyn, my youngest daughter, was in a cheer competition. So I have a little bit of video of her competing in the 4th grade toe touch cheerleading competition.
Yeah. Is that what you call it, the toe touch? I tried to do that, man. I'll show everybody to see that. This is a proud papa right here. I watched this video, did a really good job with it. But here we go. Week 6 on the mark. Enjoy.
Greetings. I'm your host, Marc. Welcome back to another installment of On the Mark. It's hard to believe, but we are already at week 6 of the season. I feel like I say this every week, but the team, Bengal Jim and the road crew, and seemingly half the city of Cincinnati is down in New Orleans to see our boys take on the Aints. For this week's show, we have footage from all the shenanigans that happened down in NO. Here in Cincinnati, we had Blink, which is a festival of light and art. Got some really good pictures and videos from down there. And we even have some bonus footage of my protege, Brooklyn, who made her debut on the show week 2 of her cheer competition. What was that? The Sunday we played the Ratbirds, actually. After what feels like forever, the team is finally back at Paycor Stadium this Sunday. If you can, come check us out at the Mount Healthy Gold Star this Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. There you'll see Houday, Bengals Jim, and even yours truly. We have prizes, giveaways, and just a fun meet and greet for fans to get ready before the game Sunday. Without further ado, let's get to it. Houday.
Give me a who day.
Ooh, day.
Nicely done, Mark. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Real quick on that video where you saw it looked like a nightclub. It was a nightclub. Tony and I were there. It was out of control. We had Craig Johnson calls me. I don't know what it's like, 10:15 Saturday morning. Says, hey, I talked to the GM and the owner of Bird Beach on Bourbon, whatever the hell it was called. And he said he would like to host a Bengal event that night. He'll do orange and black lights. He'll give us a VIP area, the whole 9 yards. Let us put Bengal flags up. I was like, whatever. I'll just post on our social media. We did it at 11 o'clock. At 6:30, the GM said it was already almost at capacity, almost 1,000 people in there. Literally, I was taken aback when we walked in there. We had to fight our way up to the front. It was unbelievably packed. The GM texted Craig 3 o'clock in the morning, said they do the events like this for the Patriots fans. He mentioned another team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they had weeks to prepare. We had 8 hours, and he said we blew it out the box compared to any other team they hosted that day. So that's to you, Bengal fans down in New Orleans. You showed out, and I was taken aback to see how many people were there that day. Tony, I know you were too, right?
Right. I was a few minutes late, and it was overflowing onto Bourbon Street. It was crazy. I was like, man, this Bourbon Street's hopping. But what it was is all the people going to Beach on the Bourbon were just outside of it because they couldn't get in there. It was crazy. It was massive. It was awesome time. DJ really did a good job out there. It was great.
Tony and Jimmy, a question with you guys going down there. And you've been to a lot of cities, Jim, a lot more than I have. And Tony, you're on the road with the team constantly. How did the city of New Orleans receive you, and how were Saints fans toward you? Because, I've been on the road. There are some cities, the people are just not going to be cool. And there are some cities that the people welcome you. They want to talk football. They'll tell you where to go to eat. How did the Saints fans, stack up compared to the rest of the NFL?
They were great. They were friendly. Exactly right. They were telling us places to go, things we needed to experience. It was funny, the gift shops there, they knew we were coming, and they were all decked out. If you guys saw that beautiful picture of me and that boa, they had tons of these selling them. And the guy said they couldn't keep them on the shelves. They were selling, Black and Orange was selling out in all the gift shops and everything. They loved us down there. I didn't have any problems. Just, the normal poking and, making fun of. And we had a little who dat conversation and debate. But other than that, they were very respectful. And the one thing to mention is, we all know Burrow and Chase came from there and gave them a championship from LSU. No matter what team they were cheering for, they rooted for them guys. It was very evident. A lot of LSU jerseys and that kind of thing. We even had some mixtures of Saint jerseys and Bengal hats. It was a good time.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I agree with Tony 100%. I'll be honest, I've been down there before, and I would put this experience up there along with the Green Bay experience, where I really didn't get heckled much at all. Had to educate a lot of fans about who day versus who dat, 81 versus 83, right? But the fans were great. I mean, we didn't have any problems anywhere we went. Everybody was, even the heckling was more good humored. It wasn't, derogatory at all. It's not one of my favorite stadiums. It's an older stadium. The concourse areas are just so tight all the way around. Great. The fans were awesome. New Orleans is always a great experience. I never had a bad experience in New Orleans, but Tom, to your point, the fans were outstanding. I think they were as accommodating as Green Bay Packer fans at the end of the day.
Cool.
So, let's do this. We got a couple more minutes here before we bring on Parker. But Tony, give us an update. What's going on with our charity stuff? We got so much stuff going on. We're getting ready to blow through a record year this year for sure.
So, as we already announced with the $2,500 from Coke and McDonald's, that went to the Ronald McDonald House. That was our 11th charity that we've been able to give to this year. We also, we mentioned with Betfred, they gave us $5,000 towards the Ken Anderson Alliance. They also gave us $5,000 to CMA. So that, that's again another $10,000 from our sponsorships that we're able to get. 100% of them go to the charities. And as you already mentioned, Jim, this coming up tailgate, we all heard about the Joe Burrow Foundation, the new launch of that foundation that Joe Burrow launched with his parents. So we reached out to those folks, and we have come up with, doing a tailgate charity for them. Got some really great prizes. We got 3 good prizes. One, we got a $250 Bengal package from Nothing But Kinks. So you'll have an opportunity to win that as well. And to go along with that, they're going to be there as well. They're going to prepare 500 butt cakes, and they're going to sell them for $2 each at the tailgate. And 100% of those proceeds will go to the Burrow Foundation. So we appreciate their partnership with us to do that. Second prize we have is we got, if you guys know Sean Faulkner, a local artist, he is doing a 3 foot by 4 foot framed Joey B print for us. So we will also have that as well. It's a great prize. He does an awesome job at it.
Hey, Tony, I'm going to add something on it. So this is an original print. This isn't the final product. If you've ever seen Sean work, you'll understand this when you see this Sunday at the game, at the tailgate. He'll have it framed and everything. This is easily a $2,000 value package that he's putting together. He puts in about 35 to 45 hours in the art, and he's getting it professionally framed. This is a big time prize, big time. It's one of one.
Yep. And then of course you can't contribute to the Joey Burrow Foundation without having something for Joey B, right? So our good friends at Bengal Bids, they're going to donate a full-size helmet, signature, COA. So we'll have that as well. If you guys have been to our tailgates, as you always know, it's a $20 raffle that we do with the cards, and the winner get to take them choice. And as James has mentioned, our 500-pound pumpkin that we have coming, we might just throw that in the mix too. When you guys see the pumpkin, like we said, we're not going to mention what it is, but when you see it, you're probably going to want to have this. So it'll give you an opportunity to get it as well. So looking forward to that. Also for the tailgate, just a couple other little mentions is Luke White, our winner of our tickets, will be attending with his father. I'm going to Tony him up during the tailgate. So he'll be, my little protege walking around the tailgate, having a good time. This is his first game. So we're going to make sure he has a really good time with it. And also just to mention for our next tailgate against the Panthers, we're going to have the Javonte Woods Foundation. We always do them every year. So you can look forward to that as well. So other than that, we're at $58,000 for the year. It's amazing.
$58,000. I would expect, with that prize package, I bet we raised between $3,000 to $5,000 this weekend at the game as well. So, Bengal fans, you guys are awesome. I know people want to participate in that raffle for those great prizes. It has to be a game tailgate raffle only. We can't do online and the tailgate. It gets real messy for us tracking it. So there'll be other things that we do that we'll announce next week that we'll do some other stuff here that you can participate even if you can't make it to a tailgate. So sorry we can't do that, but I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. I know I got swamped with those requests earlier. So thanks, Tony, for the update, brother. 58 grand, man. Who would have thought it, right? I think we knew before the year started we had some good things going on, man, but that's great stuff. So here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to pull Tony, Marc, and myself off the screen because with Jamie not being here, Caleb not able to make it, James being out of town, we've got a lot of videos that we're going to work through. We don't know how this is going to work. All I know is that Parker is a hell of a dude. If you ever follow him on Twitter, he knows his shit, man. And this is the fun stuff for me. I love digging in the weeds. And Parker's going to talk about where our offensive line started at the beginning of the year and where he sees it, how it's progressed, and what they did yesterday. And I think you're going to agree. I think he's going to agree. We're starting to see some progress on that offensive line here, and Parker's going to go through this with us. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull Tony off screen here, and I'm going to pull Marc off. I'm going to pull myself off because I'm going to be in the back trying to do some – oh, my bad, Marc. Nobody wanted to see that. Geez, my bad. So let me do this. Let me pull him on just for a second. Parker, what's going on, big dog? How you doing?
Hey, man. Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, I'm gonna let Tom introduce you. I got all these videos back here that don't have our 1A producer and a 1B producer here. I am like last in line, so I'm going to do my best to. You just call out what videos you want us to pop up, and I'll let you and Tom talk and go at it here.
Hey, no worries. I don't even remember what I sent over to y'all, to be honest.
No, you're good. Thank you so much for making time for us. I know you're a busy man. You got everything going out. Parker's from out west. He's from Utah, but he's like everybody tuning in right now. Massive Bengals fan. He is a high school offensive line coach whose hobby is breaking down every offensive line snap every week of the Bengals, assigning his own grades, charting them, seeing where they're weak, seeing where they're strong, noting where they're getting stronger, and the team getting better. So, Parker, thanks so much for being with us. As Jimmy said, the season started and the offensive line kind of sputtered. They did not play a lot in the preseason. From your experience and how you coach, and certainly you observe them so close, when I have had, we've been lucky to have Anthony Munoz on the show and Joe Walter on the show. And we've talked with Dave Lapham here on the show. And the one thing I always ask them, and I was amazed the first time they told the story of, they got to a point with those offensive lines, they didn't call signals. They just looked at each other, and the way Anthony would nod, or the look Bruce Reimers would give him, or Joe Walter would grunt, and Max Montoya knew exactly what he was saying they knew. Do you think there was a lack of communication at the beginning of the year, and that was maybe the root of all of our problems?
Yeah, no, I think it's so very undervalued how much the O-line communicates with each other, and getting that chemistry through the offseason and even through just years of just seasons being together. I mean, you learn how each other work, and it comes from everything to how wide their splits are, how they move in the space, how they take over blocks, how they move on to the next level. I mean, it goes way beyond just calling out, oh, hey, there's a linebacker there, or hey, I'm going to block this guy. It's how everyone moves in their own space and how they communicate what they see. And then moving forward, I mean, you got all these different looks, all these different blitz packages in the NFL. I mean, being able to communicate those to each other, you can't communicate every little bit of information pre-snap. So knowing what the guy next to you is looking for, knowing how every individual play works, knowing how you work in your space relative to the guy next to you, it's a lot. But as you get through years and seasons together, and even just every little practice and game, you learn how each other works. And that's why I think there's been such a great improvement and change from week one to now. I mean, even if you just watch how everyone plays together, it looks way better and smoother.
Looking at our team from mid-February at the Super Bowl to blowing up 4 out of 5 starting spots on your offensive line. From a talent standpoint, I mean, certainly, Willie Anderson's a Hall of Famer. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But talent-wise, how drastic and dramatic do you think that infusion of talent was to our offensive line, and how do you see them progressing every week?
I was super excited when it all happened, because I think we got some great bodies on the line and infused into the group. And even with Bolson being a rookie, I mean, I think he's performed way better than any of us thought he would. And I think there's a difference between, because you can get the 5 best O-linemen in the league together and put them all on the same line, and it won't go well. I think with Karis being experienced and being a veteran, and Collins and Kappa being veterans and being in successful programs before they got to the Cincinnati, I think that just helped with the infusion and learning the playbook, and even helping Bolson out, helping everyone gel together. I think just that experience alone was a huge factor. And then the fact that they're high-quality players just made it that much better.
Yep. Hey, Tom, here's what I'm going to do. Since I guess he doesn't have the list in front of him, I think what I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and just pull up a video, Parker, and I'm not going to be on screen when we do it, but you tell me when to stop. But the first video I'll pull up is the Burrow scramble. If it's okay. This is the one he scrambled for the touchdown. So I'm going to pull myself off the screen and pull that video up for you here. Hold on.
Awesome.
On that play, I don't know if you want to completely say it was a busted play, but certainly the line, well, you remember it, open it up, you can describe it. But on those kind of plays, how difficult it is for a lineman before they just go ahead and release. That was a pass play. Is it, oh my God, there he goes, or oh my God, let's get in front of him? Typically, how do you coach your lineman in that situation?
Well, it's stuff like that's always weird, because in a dream scenario, you want your quarterback, as he escapes the pocket or as he commits and knows he's going to run, to yell like go, or like something like that, or call stuff out so you can know to get downfield. Because I think every old lineman at their core, they want to keep that guy upright, whether it's run down the field, sitting in the pocket. And so they want to get out in front of him if he's running downfield. But in the heat of the moment, you're focused on your guy. He's trying to look downfield and just decides to just get out of there. There's only so much you can see, but I know for a fact that whenever they see him escape the pocket, or if they see him running downfield, if you can watch the film, they always chase down after him, and they always get there as fast as they can. They always do their best they can to start moving bodies out of the way for him.
Going from our offensive line, that particular play went left. Jonah Williams is a first-round draft pick. He's a national champion from Alabama. He's an All-American. He's been a little up and down. I mean, he's been a solid starter, but, he hasn't really threatened to go to the Pro Bowl. This is his free agent year. I think the Bengals had some communication about extending him. He wanted this to be his prove it year. He was, it wasn't a holdout. There were no bad feelings. He wanted to show the Bengals and the league that he was an elite offensive tackle, a left tackle. Has he acquitted himself that way this year? He's been a bit up and down, I think. The Edges really gave up a lot of pressure early. But oddly enough, it was the game he got hurt in Baltimore that he played really well. And if you're not noticing an offensive lineman and you're not saying his name a whole lot, generally he had a good game. We didn't have to say his whole lot or notice him a whole lot in New Orleans. Is he trending up?
I mean, the fact that he's been able to stay healthy for the majority of this season so far until that weird knee thing happened was a big for him, I think, in general. And then I think through the first few weeks of the season, he was one of the better players. He was kind of that rock on the line while the new 3 vets were trying to figure themselves out. He was working right next to Bolson, and I think as a veteran, having a rookie put next to you, you don't really know how that guy plays at all. You don't really have any film to watch besides his college stuff to know what he likes to do and what his tendencies are. I think he's really stepped up this year and been one of the top guys until this week, obviously. He has been the most consistent player on the line this year. And I don't know if he's played at an all-pro level, but he's definitely played at a higher level than he ever has in the past.
Hey, Parker, I've got the video here. So this is the scramble. Sorry, it took me a while. We've got a different process here. So let me try to pull this up here real quick. Okay, we got the video. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to take all of us off as this video plays to make the screen bigger. And if you need me to stop at any point, Parker, just let me know. I'll be able to hear you.
No, for sure. Yeah, when I first saw this play happen live, I actually tweeted out that I was excited to get this rear look at it because I really felt like a full collapse. But if you watch it, what really happens is, we actually handled it pretty well on the left side. Volson loses a little bit of ground and gets turned sideways, which happens a lot with our interior O-line. I've talked a lot about that on Twitter, where they like to retreat a lot in their sets. But if you look, the biggest issue is actually Collins gets turned because he hesitates for the mug linebacker. If you want to go like a little farther back, pre-snap. Sweet. Yeah. So if you look, so there's 6 guys walked up. There's actually a guy creeping right off the screen to the right side. And if you watch Collins set, he actually hangs on that front foot a little too long, which puts him behind in his set against Cameron here. And that's why he beats him around the edge. And if you look, he does his – I keep calling it his signature fall, but as he sets, he gets leaning too far in his hands and ends up falling, and that's why he gets beat around the edge. But this play actually looked pretty well. And the best part about this for me was Karis in this one-on-one is awesome because that's what opens up the vertical lane for Joe to escape through. And that's what – the biggest issue I have with how our interior O-line retreats in their sets is that they always collapse the pocket in front of Burrow, and he doesn't really have those throwing windows or those throwing lanes in front of him or those escape routes like he uses here. And the fact that Karis is able to hold his own for the most of the play is what allows Joe to escape and kind of get through.
Let it play one more time here.
Yeah, and Capel was just a free blocker there and just gave him a little slip lane.
Continuing across our line, Parker, Cordell Volson has, been up and down, certainly up. Even though he's 6'6", 315, he reminds me of an old Bengal by build and by play, and Bruce Reimers. And he is a rookie, and he is coming, from North Dakota State. But how have you seen his progress? I mean, certainly for a fourth rounder to step in and be given the job to help protect a franchise quarterback, a special franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow, is a monstrous responsibility. So to be able to get it to that point is a tribute there. First couple games, he was awesome. Last couple games, he hasn't graded out all that well. Now, you grade a little differently than Pro Football Focus, which is based here in Cincinnati. And I like that because there are times I look at the final number from Pro Football Focus and scratch my head and think, I can't be that dumb a football fan. But how do you see our rookie left guard? I truly see him as a guy, as he continues to grow and gets experience, he's going to be a 10-year starter in the league and hopefully right here.
No, I agree 100%. Coming out of college, I had a lot of concerns with his footwork. He loved to cross his feet over, especially in his pass sets, which that's obviously not ideal. And I mean, even just in week 1, you could see that he already improved his footwork a lot. And I think one of his best talents is that he's a finisher. I mean, there's a lot of plays where the play starts slowing down as the guy gets tackled, and you just see him come flying across the screen, pushing somebody over the pile or pushing the pile or taking somebody off the screen. Like, his best trait is that he's a finisher. And I think what we've been seeing the last few weeks as he's kind of started to taper off and he came coming off that kind of first few week high that he was on, playing out of his mind, is he's trying to get a feel for how the NFL works. And he was really capitalizing on some early opportunities to be aggressive and get guys out of the way and finish plays. And I think now he's trying to be more aggressive than to. And that's how he gets in trouble a lot because he ends up leaning to guys. He tries to make the knockout. My biggest complaint I had from last week was when he pulls. He doesn't really He kind of sits there and tries to work on his positioning, and that makes me think that Frank's been working a lot with him on his positioning and stuff like that. I think that's where a lot of his improvements come from.
Hey, Tom, let me play a couple more videos here. So I've got a video here, one of the sacks, and again, it's not just the offensive line that may be responsible for pressures and sacks, but we also have running backs here. Obviously, we should be picking up some blitz pickups and those type of things. So I've got a video here. I think it's a sack. So let me get this for you here real quick. I'm really slow at doing this. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. I heard this week that EFF actually attributed 2 sacks to Mixon this week instead of the O-line, which is, isn't great to hear that he's getting sacked, but at least they're recognizing that not all sacks come from the interior.
Yeah.
Nixon's had a lot of issues.
Let's see if this is the video here. Nope. But
That's a touch. Nope.
hold on. Let me do another one here.
First quarter.
Play this one.
I still think Jamar caught that ball, but
I tried watching on this angle. I watched it probably like 6 or 7 times.
Is this the one we're seeing right now? Sorry, guys. Let me get this one off. Man, I'm not a very good producer, that's for sure. Is this playing right now, this one right here? This is the one that
it's frozen still, Jimmy.
Is it? Okay. Get it off there. Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay. Finishing up with Cordell, though, he's going to play Grady Jarrett this Sunday. We just saw what he did to Tom Brady. Is it time to set the alarms? Is it panic mode, or do you think he can stand up and get the job done?
No, I think he's held the ground very well this year, and I think people that are starting to kind of doubt him are just, I think they're overreacting. I think he's going to have a great season. I think he's going to have a great career in the NFL, and he's already shown a lot of improvement. He can be a sponge with Frank. Then he's going to be a great ball player.
Shifting over one spot, a guy that has really gained not just popularity from his play, but his character and his leadership is Ted Karis. He's brought a lot to this team. Can you tell when you study the films, is he the guy helping to run the line, nurse everybody into place, get this thing cohesive on the field as the game is going on? He certainly seems to be holding up his part of the pocket. I think, a week or so ago, he may have got shoved back a little bit on a play, but he's doing a great job holding the middle together for Joe Burrow, not letting it collapse on him. And, tough as nails, smart, experienced, Super Bowl champion, and wanted to be here. So should we be enthused to still have him?
Oh, yeah, I think Captain Karis is awesome. I think he's been one of the most consistent, at least by my grades, one of the most consistent players on the front. And I think we're not going to see any big games out of him, I don't think. I mean, he's going to have his ups and his downs, but I don't think he'll have the variance that someone like Bolson's going to have, or someone like even Jonah Williams is going to have. He's just going to be a very consistent player. We're not going to get any big splash plays out of him. I think he struggles in the run game getting to the second level, but overall, I think he's the most consistent and most productive player that we have at the front right now.
Yeah, and like I said, we can't, estimate how much he means in the huddle and in the meeting room and on the practice field and on the sidelines during the game. He seems like a pure leader. A guy who has been being graded, and I'm interested to see where you have him, off the charts the last couple of weeks. He seems tough as nails, fantastic against the pass, is Alex Kappa, who we were able to get to come up from Tampa Bay. Do you agree with that? Should we be overjoyed that, again, middle of the line is, knock on wood, not collapsing on Joe Burrow, and do you see that continuing with him?
Yeah, I'm actually wearing my Kappa jersey tonight. He was a top-graded player for me, at least from the Saints game, and he started off really rough. And I was telling a lot of people where I was really pumped for him to come in. I know a lot of people were talking about Corbett, and he didn't land in Cincinnati, but I was pumped for Jensen and Kappa, and the fact that we got one of them was awesome for me. And I was really let down by him the first couple of weeks, and he's really starting to come into it. And I think it's all part of that cohesion and figuring out how he plays together, especially with a guy like Lyle next to him and a leader like Karis. I think he's really starting to come to his own and starting to do what we expect him to do. And I'm excited to see how he's going to start progressing here.
Hey, Parker, I think I have that video ready. I'm going to try this one more time. I just wanted to be able to show it. Again, I know everybody's complaining about the offensive line. We have a couple of videos here. This is one. It looks like mixing kind of a little confusion here on this blitz pickup here. Let's watch this.
Oh, this freaking formation kills me. Yeah, you'll see he'll come across the center and try and pick up Davis, which I had my own opinions about. I thought we should have been sliding Karis to Davis all day, but he usually picked up 20 whenever they mugged them both up like this. But a lot of people were trying to say that there was a lot of confusion between him and Kappa on this play, and I really do think that this is just Mixon setting a little too wide, and just missing the linebacker on the inside. And you can see Karis tries to get his body in there a little bit, but he's got to pick up his own man. Davis on Mixon is a mismatch in pass pro, which is why I thought they should have slid Karis over there. But I don't think this is as much a miscommunication as just Mixon sliding up and missing. And I've been really disappointed in his pass protection ability for a lot of the years so far.
Yeah, and let's see if this video works right here. Sorry, guys. Can you see this? Looks like P. Ryan and Burrow in the backfield.
No, we still got we're still on the last one.
We got the other one on there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. See if this works. Is this playing right now?
No.
Nope.
No. All right, let me try one more time. Last time we tried this. Halfback release. You had a free rusher, Volson pulling, TD pass. Let's do this TD pass here. I thought this was a good one to see. The guy didn't look open to me at all. I think it was shared here real quick. Let's go. You guys see that on the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Touchdown right here to Mixon.
Oh, this is a great throwing. Great passing window.
Look at that.
Great stump pickup by Collins and Kappa. We've looked really good against the stunt the last couple of weeks. And if you see that huge window that Burrow's able to get it through just to the wide open Mixon.
Yeah, just show this pocket one more time. Look at this. Boom, boom.
He's got all day. He could have sat there all day if he wanted.
Clean. Touchdown. So good stuff there. Sorry, Parker.
You're good.
No, you're good.
I'm the bootleg producer for the day. I got to show a couple of those videos you sent me.
We brought Jimmy up from the practice squad, and he's doing a great job.
Hey, you're filling in great, boss.
Thanks, man. Thanks, brother. Thanks.
Parker, you brought up his name, and he's been a little bit of a lightning rod. We almost had a parade when he signed as a free agent this offseason. But Lyle Collins came in. We knew about the back. We were still thrilled to have him because we know the ceiling when he's healthy. Messed up the back, working out very hard in the offseason. Messed up the back. Had to take off the first 3.5 weeks of camp. Probably a little longer than that. They really had to baby him because they had to baby the back. And he did not start practicing till right about the time of the last preseason game. So he was a guy that really came out of the gate slow. Penalties, getting beat around the edge. The running plays to his side were not working. But I think as the back is getting better, we're starting to see that progress we need from him. And when I say we see it or we hear about that progress, it's because we're not hearing about it. He did have a hold this week against the Saints, but at the same time, we're not calling out his name all that much, and we're not hearing about the defensive ends or the linebackers that he's blocking, making tackles, or getting pressures. How have you seen his improvement?
First off, I think that hold is pretty soft. I watched that play a few times too, and I didn't see what they saw, I guess. But I think
great.
I do. I mean, the back injury is hard. I had a back injury when I was playing out at college, and those linger, and it's hard to really do much of what you're trying to do, especially as a tackle with especially any kind of back injury. But I think this week was our first glimpse into what he can do. He was my top-rated run blocker, and it wasn't close. I think we saw a lot of improvement from him in the first half of the game on Sunday. The second half was kind of rough from both tackles, but in the first half, he put guys on the ground left and right, pass pro, run blocking. He was a menace in the first half this week, and that's what I've been saying all season. I've been excited to see him maul dudes and really get on it. I mean, you have the quote from him when he first got to Cincinnati, no one's going to touch Joe ever again. I mean, I've been waiting to see that guy, and I think we're getting very close to seeing that guy on the field.
And that's awesome. So I guess, I know we've had you almost 25, 26 minutes here. We'll ask you one or two more things here, but let's talk about the Falcons game, man. What kind of problems does the Falcons defense present to our offensive line at this point? I know I know they're a really good running team. Our defense is going to have to make some, plays against the run here. But let's talk about their defensive line versus our offensive line, what you see coming up this Sunday.
I've been trying to get into the film, and we all know watching film on NFL Plus or Game Pass isn't ideal, but I honestly think we match up well. I know there's going to be some people that disagree with that, but I don't think they do anything too crazy. I mean, we've seen the Cowboys, you've seen the Steelers with TJ Watt, unlike the rest of the league. We've seen the Ravens. I mean, the Saints were doing a lot of weird stuff as well. And I think the games that we've had leading up to this Falcons game have really prepared us for the rest of the season. I honestly think this is going to be one of the best games from our front that we're going to see so far in the year. Especially now that they've figured out the run schemes they want to handle as well. And I think that's a big thing, especially over the last couple of weeks. That's helped the progress of those guys up front as well.
Parker, you watch so much ridiculous tape on this team. You're a fan like us, but being a coach, you can diagnose things. The pass blocking has gotten better. In fact, I would say if the season started 3 weeks ago, we'd be thrilled with the amount of times Joe is not getting hit and sacked. And again, knock on wood, please let that continue every game, because I don't like seeing him under any stress at all. The running game. Do you see the running game improving and kind of catching up? Is that pass blocking has, improved and slowly becoming a strength? Do you see the building blocks of the running game being there? Or again, like a lot of the sacks, is it not on the offensive line, all on the offensive line? There's a little bit of it on Joe Mixon. There's a little bit of on the communication of the line. Our team's just not letting us run. How do you see it going forward?
I think there's two big things that affected the run game at the beginning of the year. First off, Frank was trying to make us a wide zone team or just a zone team in general, and the guys that we have up front right now are not zone guys. Jonah Williams and Cordell Volson look awesome in wide zone, but the other three look less than impressive for the first few games. And then pair that with Joe Mixon not really trusting his line and making a lot more cuts than he needed to, or being a lot more hesitant than he needed to as he approached the line, was also an issue. And now that we've gotten into more gap and man scheme, and we're just letting the big guys up front maul the other team, and Mixon's getting a lot more confidence. And I think we can see that with, especially when P. Ryan's in, where he doesn't really – I don't think P. Ryan's has great vision, but he'll put his head down and hit the hole. And I think a lot of the plays and why he's had so much success is because we're getting solid push. We're getting solid double teams. And especially this week, I had a couple highlights on my Twitter, but Kappa and Collins looked awesome in the run game this week, and they've looked better than anybody's looked all season. And I think it's because they're more comfortable with the scheme, they're more comfortable with each other, and they're just getting into the groove of things. And I think between the line gelling together, the staff figuring out the scheme that they need to run in the run game, and Mixon and P. Ryan building that trust, we're gonna have a solid run game here in a couple weeks.
I drive Jimmy and my other co-host nuts, well, on a lot of things, but particularly about the line play, where I'm always saying I want a line that if it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I'm not worried about getting that yard. Yep. I grew up watching, the Super Bowl line and Pete Johnson, and never worried about short yardage. Watching Ickey Woods and James Brooks, never worried about the short yardage. Heck, even when, Harold Green in the 90s with some of those terrible offensive lines, never worried about that yard. The great Willie Anderson with Rudy Johnson, never worried about the yard. We haven't had that the last 3 or 4 years. And, I kind of wonder, when it's 1st and goal at the 2 and you're playing your division rival, who you're going to play for, the division crown, and you don't run the ball once. I know Zach is very good. He's a man. He falls on the sword when things don't go right. But I wonder if, during the week when they talk, it's, as I'm making up my playlist, it's just not there. Do you think it's going to be there where we can just ram the ball down their throats?
Well, if you look coming into that Ravens game, just statistically, we were not a good running team in the red zone, especially within the 10 this season. And now as we've been moving forward, especially in short yardage situations, they had a 2nd and 1 against the Saints where they hit the sneak, which I hated on 2nd down, but they know it's an automatic yard. And even if you look at our push on those sneaks, those inside runs, and we're moving guys off the ball at least a couple yards, if not putting them on the ground. I think again that comes back to scheme, where I don't think wide zone or any really zone scheme works well in the goal line as you're moving sideways trying to get angles on guys. But letting our O-line just get on dudes and move the D-line, I mean, we're getting some solid push, especially. I mean, I noticed it against the Saints a lot. I mean, we're getting on guys and we're moving them. I mean, we struggle at getting to the linebackers, but I'm not personally worried about getting that yard anymore.
Okay, well, Parker. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Just one more.
Sorry, I'll let you close. I'll let you close it out here, Tom. I just wanted to say, hey, Parker, where if people want to follow you and kind of see some of these film breakdowns you're doing, where do they follow you at?
Oh yeah, find me on Twitter at ParkerBlake60. That's where I put all my stuff. I probably put too much stuff, but I think some people like it occasionally. So,
like that. Parker, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy, family obligations, your coaching obligations, everything, and obviously spending a ton of time breaking down the Bengals line. If we can please have you back as the season goes on, we'd love it. And also in the spring, as we get ready for the draft, looking at some of the linemen the Bengals may look at, and I can assure you, you will get paid as much as Jimmy pays me every week.
That's all I can ask for.
You'll have it. You'll have it. The same amount. Parker, if we could please have you back. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic.
Hey, Parker, we love following you. Love watching your stuff, man. I love the breakdowns of this stuff, man. It's good to follow somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about with this stuff, man. And we appreciate you, big dogs. We hope to have you back. And we hope you get in town someday. We take you out and have some drinks with you, buddy.
I'll be there for the Bills game. I'll see you guys in January.
We'll see you then.
Yes, sir.
What's up? Thank you
guys.
Good
day, Parker. That was fantastic. Great guy.
Yeah, he was fun. Sorry about the videos, guys. I think I wound up playing 2 or 3 of those videos, but if you find him on Twitter, he has those videos breakdown. It kind of breaks down the what's good, what's bad. It's not just all what they did bad. I think you're starting to hear a lot of this on social media, right? But with the experts. But what Parker was just saying, they're starting to see some cohesiveness. They made a few changes, and it looks like things are moving in the right direction.
Hey, Jimmy, you just said to him, it's great to talk to somebody who knows what in the hell they're talking about that. You're not slamming my guys, James and Jamie, saying they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it was more bougie Marc. It was bougie Marc. I'm just here to tell you, man, I coached for 20 years. And that's not one of my specialties, right? The offensive line, right? It's tough, man. I don't care what people say. The offensive line is the toughest positions to play in the NFL, man. A lot of you got to be strong, agile, smart as hell. A lot of different things they got to go through there. It's not just as easy because we have improved the offensive line from last year to this year. You're throwing 4 new guys in that offensive line, 3 vets and 1 rookie who have never played together. And it takes a while for that stuff to gel. I mean, I think Parker made that comment early in the conversation. Anytime you could take 5 great offensive linemen, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for them.
Yeah, you can't coach time, but
true.
Are we about ready? Are we about at that time? Where's our whistle, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, man. Jeez, piece. I'm all over the place with this damn thing tonight. Here it is. Let's go here.
Hey, folks. It's time for the 2-minute warning.
We had to go offensive line on that, Tom. So, Marc, we'll let you start to close out the 2-minute warning, buddy.
All righty. I just want to say how excited I am for for another home game. It feels like it's been forever. And I was looking at the schedule just to see, and we don't get back-to-back home games until week 13 and 14 of the season, which is insane to me. But I'm so happy to be back. I'll see all of our friends down at the tailgate. The weather is going to be beautiful. And I'll just say, before the season started, I don't like to do a lot of prognostications and guesses, but I thought we would be around 13-4, 12-5. And the biggest reason for that was with the new offensive line additions. When I look back at last year, I think the biggest issue we had late in the season was running the ball inside the 10 and inside the goal line and short yardage. So my thought was that we were going to really improve on that, and that's really going to set us apart so our drives won't stall as much. So I'm really looking forward to the last few weeks as the improvement in the run game. So I think we're just going to continue to build on that. And then, by the time week 14, 15, and hopefully the playoffs come, we'll be in good position.
Yep, I'm with you. Tony's
sorry, that was my guard dog Yeah, what a great game. Enjoyed New Orleans. Enjoyed the fans. Enjoyed Bourbon Street. Enjoying the Bengal family down there. It was always fun for that. Marc has some really great analysis of the line. I agree with what everybody else is saying. I think, I can see us starting to gel and starting to be cohesive together. You can kind of see that morph. I'm looking forward to the Atlanta game. Remember, we got the Joe Burrow Foundation going to be our tailgate. Looking for that one to be one of our biggest ones. So let's let the Bengal Nation do what we do best, and that's raise some money for a good organization, one that's just kicking off the ground, and it's our quarterback, Joey B. So let's show them how we can do it. Other than that,
typical Cincinnati. We had December weather yesterday and today. We're going to go back to May on Saturday. It's going to be gorgeous. Come out early for the tailgate and be loud inside Paycor Stadium. So we've got to get after the Falcons, make it as miserable as possible on them, and get back up over 500 while keeping our share of first place. So this is another step on the way. I think if they play the way they should, they'll beat Atlanta, but it's not going to be easy. Atlanta's strength plays right into our weaknesses, and that's how they run the ball. And they run it often, and they run it well, and they control the clock. Just ask the 49ers. So get there. Big charity day on Sunday that Tony has worked hard to put together. So thank him for that. And come down and visit and get that place rocking. Jimmy?
Yep. Yeah, guys. And again, just thanks everybody for tuning in. Miss Jamie and James, those guys. Again, we don't get paid for any of this stuff, no matter what some people might say about it. We're working our butts off on this stuff. Jamie's got some work stuff going on. James, this is kind of busy time for him, getting outside of work with the family, doing some things. But Sunday at the tailgate, guys, I forgot to mention, Jimmy Burrow has made it a point saying he's going to try to come over to the tailgate. He wants to talk about the foundation with everybody. We'll put him on the mic, the whole 9 yards. And if he's there a little bit later in the tailgate, we're going to have him pick and draw the winners for those prizes that we have locked up. Saints game, amazing, fans. I'm telling you, it seems like the momentum, the ball keeps rolling, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger every away game. Who Dey Nation represented. It was all orange and black on Bourbon Street. So look forward to that. Not just the home game this week, but we've got City Up North the following week of Monday Night Football. We'll talk about the tailgate up at City Up North here very soon, probably the next day or two. But, man, we appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. A lot of stuff going on this week. If you're able to make it down to the tailgate, we expect another 1,500 to 2,000 people there. We've got a DJ. We got 16 lots. We got Beer Fest Craig. A bunch of charity stuff going on. We got 25-foot tall Big Burrow going to be there. We've got a 500-pound pumpkin. We got all kinds of fun stuff going on.
We got Dell,
yeah. 16-lot brewery. So it is going to be a blast down there. We will see you this week. Like Tom said, let's bring it and get as loud as we can in the stadium, Who Dey Nation. We will see you at Paycor Stadium this Sunday, everybody. Who Dey.
Who Dey.
Who Dey.